5% of your failure or success in life. End quote. So, what David McClellan is saying here is just be conscious about those who you surround yourselves with because they influence and impact the mind. Mindset breaks a man or makes a man. You may be in that space where you're hurting. You're in that space where you're hurting. And here's a reality. Recovery, depending on what the past experience was, can sometimes be a long journey and it can be a painful journey. But you have got to not run away from going through the process of recovery because recovery is a process. It doesn't matter what has happened in your life, recovery is a process. And some days it's going to be more intense than in other days. But the intensity of your recovery is not an excuse for you to ignore its reality. Go through your process of recovery. Take the time to absorb that pain and then allow yourself to release that pain so that you can grow. Now, there are several things that we can do to create the right mindset. Number one is we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Let it go. It's over. And guess what? It's over and it's okay. And you are going to be okay. Can you say that? It's over and it's okay. And I'm going to be okay. All right. Number two is you've got to not blame yourself, right? You might have made some decisions and you might not be feeling very proud right now. And that's totally okay. As human beings, as men, we have to remember that we are humans and we will make mistakes. Forgive yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Number three is learn to move on. Don't stay stuck in the past. All right, because staying stuck in the past is remaining stagnant, and once you are not growing, that's not anybody else's responsibility but yours. You have got to take responsibility for that. Set some good boundaries, guys. Set some healthy boundaries and don't be ashamed. And sometimes when as men you try to set boundaries, there are going to be other men, unfortunately, who are going to make you feel like what you're doing is not right. They always make you feel guilty. If you are setting boundaries that you know within your gut that setting this boundary is healthy and helpful for me, then set your boundary and remember this: don't feel like you need to give any explanation to anyone who is around you who can't understand why it's important for you to set those boundaries. So, setting boundaries are important. Why? Because oftentimes it means that you're going to have to be okay to do it all by yourself. Recovery can be a lonely journey. Self growth and personal development can sometimes come across as, hey, you're presenting as if you are better than us, or do you think you're no, it's understanding that, hey, personal development is not an event, it is a lifestyle, and it is a commitment that you are making to yourself first to consistently be intentional with maintaining the work that you see necessary that's going to help you to be a better father, to be a better brother, to be a better partner, to be a better employer, to be a better human being in the community. So you have got to take the lead on that and recognize that if I'm going to get certain results, it's going to be up to me. Remember, guys, that personal development is not selfishness, right? Personal development is self growth and self driven motivation that comes from an intentional space where you're able to say, hey, this is something that I need that's going to help me to be better. Listen, your mindset is your greatest asset, and you have got to create that mindset. There are so many things that can destroy that: toxic environments, excessive alcohol or drug use, lack of exercise and activity, unhealthy eating. All right, all those pieces are things that can impact us. Sleep deprivation can impact our mindset. So we want to seek to look at how we're living our lives and what are some of those things that we're doing that is impacting our lives in a negative way, right? So all those things that I mentioned prior is important for you to pay attention to. All right, if you're someone that's spiritual, you may need to spend some more time in meditation, in prayer, in reading. If you're someone that you don't look to anything spiritual, then I would say, hey, start experiencing some meditation of some kind, right? Yoga, all right, taking the time to learn how to practice, breathing, emotional regulation, and getting into that space where you find your zen, so to speak, so that you can become more empowered. Your mindset is your greatest asset. And when you nurture the mind, you'll surprise yourself to see that the lens that you're looking at life with changes 100%. And that way, you'll be more adaptable. You will learn more how to face challenges. You will learn more how to become the best version of yourself. Guys, thank you so much for being here rather with us on the XY Spark podcast. We just want to remind you that the XY Spark podcast is a podcast for men, and we are here every weekday morning at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to continue to facilitate conversations about men's mental health and wellness. Why? Because we know that mental health is not a myth. And we are seeking to normalize those conversations to break the stamina of the stigma about men's mental health. So until next Monday, I just want to say to you guys that remember this: you have value, you have worth. You were meant to be a champion. You were meant to be a winner. You are an overcomer. You got what it takes. Believe in yourself. Stop listening to your internal critique and start challenging yourself to break those cycles to become the best version of yourself. Until next week, this is your boy, your men's life coach, Rolando, and we continue to remind you that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you, and we will see you again next week. Enjoy your weekend and have a fantastic day. Peace out, guys.